If you need a new system, if you need some repairs, if you need just your system checked out, cleaned up, ready to go, give Shelby Heating and Air a call. Once again, it's 704-487-7877. Online, shelbyheating.com.
All right, in the NFL this week, we've got the schedules were released, the draft is over, and now everybody knows exactly how many wins we're all going to have, right, Terry?
Yep, 12 wins. Worst 11.
For who?
The Cowboys.
Y'all heard it here first.
That's it.
If Richard's still listening, he doesn't have to watch another game.
They play in a weak division.
12 wins.
They play in a weak division.
We'll go 5-1 in our division.
The Giants are horrible. The Redskins, I think they'll be better this year. Or the Commanders. The Commanders.
Yeah, the Commandos.
The Commanders will be a little better. And then Philadelphia will be a little better. They might not walk through it like they might go 4-2 in the division.
So Dallas 6-0 this past year.
Well, let's get Dallas got worse, and the other two teams got better.
So we go 5-1.
So it's got to be closer, right?
The Commanders don't have a quarterback though. What, they got Wentz now? They don't have any stability at quarterback.
What? I know we've done this before, but again, what's the big deal with? Is that not an improvement from last year? As far as Wentz?
Who's that? What's the guy's name? Heineke? What's his name?
Yeah.
Heineke.
I thought he was, if they'd have kept playing him, he'd be okay.
I don't think he really got a good shot.
No,
man.
I don't think he did.
I'm going to read some stats for you. 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. Would you want that on your team?
Is that Wentz?
Yes.
Does that include last year?
Last year was 27 touchdowns, 7 picks.
That's good.
62%, 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks last year.
Quarterback. Well, I didn't say Wentz was horrible. I just said they don't have stability. Somebody new.
Passer rating of 94. So of his 6 years, he did have 2 mediocre. I read you the 4 good ones.
You always do that, though.
Well, what I'm saying, all right. What I'm saying is, though, by pointing those out, and one of them being last year, is that the narrative on Carson Wentz, I believe, is way the opposite ends of the press on Carson Wentz and Cam Newton's careers are incredibly the opposite, or just not even close. Like Carson Wentz they're bad, he's bad, let's get rid of him. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, 2 of the last 3 years. 21 before that and 7, 33. So 4 of the last 5 years, he's had a good year. The year in between, the last year in Philadelphia. Can any of y'all name any of his receivers in Philadelphia? Or running backs in Philadelphia? Now, he threw 16 touchdowns, 15 picks. His rookie season, 16 touchdowns, 14 picks. So those are 2 of the 6 years he had bad years. But again, looking at those passing, I'll take those any day. Philadelphia, they've been not too great the last few years. But what I'm saying is that I believe Washington's going to be a little bit better just by having him on the roster over the Heineke man. Whether that translates to anything, like Terry's saying with their wins and stuff, who knows? But they've got to be a little bit better. What did they win last year? 7 wins. So let's say they win 8. So they're 8-9. He gives them 1 win. Philadelphia wins 1 more. They're 10. Dallas loses 1. So now you got 11, 10, 9. Now you're looking at what the Central was last year, Tom, where you got Cincinnati. If they lose 1 game last year, tie 1 game last year, they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't even make it.
So everybody's talking about they're the favorites. Let's look how good are the Bengals. They're half a game for not even being in the playoffs last year.
They made some improvements to their offensive line.
That is true. But my point is that Philadelphia and Washington, I believe, personally, have gotten a little bit better. I'm not sure where Dallas is and how Terry feels about that without Amari and however else the defense has played out.
Well, some of the offensive linemen that we lost, too. I mean, you lost Collins. You lost a few guys that's retired. And I don't know. I think our offensive line has got to be better for Zeke and everybody, or are we going to see Dak having to pass all the time? Do we have weapons? Yes. Do we have a Cooper? I think we're better without Cooper. I think the biggest thing, though, is the more pressure will be put on Wilson. Wilson was like the offset guy. Nobody could play him, but now they will have somebody that can play him without Cooper out there. So,
well, we're going to pull up an article on the interweb. This is the worldwide leader here predicting win totals for all NFL teams. Well, Terry, since we're there in Dallas, we'll go where they go. The over-under in Dallas is 10 and a half.
Yeah.
A year ago, the Cowboys
got
won
12, and a lot of people are saying 11 now.
A year ago, the Cowboys won 12, but they don't have Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory, Connor Williams, or Lyle Collins around. Haven't made the big free agent splashes. Their draft didn't generate a lot of buzz either, so why the 10.5? They are tied with Washington for the easiest strength of schedule based off last year's win percentages. So, again, might be a good bet for Washington there for a 9-win season there. Speaking of them, let's go down to Washington. 7.5 is what they got them for that. Over-under would mean just a half win better than last year when injuries and COVID derailed them. So Carson Wentz can't overcome the injuries and COVID. They don't feel good about him either. Defensively, they don't face near the caliber of quarterbacks they did last season, if that matters anymore. All right, Tom, we'll go over to Cleveland since Zach's out of here. We'll do the Panthers last. Over under 9.5. Let's do the whole division. 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 7.5. The Steelers were the only team in the division.
No Big Ben.
Not sitting on 9.5. Now, Cleveland's is 100% dependent upon what Deshaun Watson's going to do, right?
But they're making it impossible for Baker Mayfield to take another snap in Cleveland.
Yeah, but who do you go to if you don't have Watson and
they're
you
don't? They're going to go to Brissett. They brought in
NC
State.
He's not bad,
they brought in.
He's not
they
bad.
brought in Jeff. What's the guy named from Georgia? Remember him?
Did they bring him in for some work?
I mean, it's just I have no.
They got talent. Cleveland has talent.
I have no explanation for what the quarterback situation is.
Wouldn't it behoove everyone if the NFL went ahead and announced if we can get to the Watson suspension? Like, it hurts everyone, the league, everyone involved by waiting.
I agree.
Hurts Baker Mayfield. It hurts Deshaun Watson. It hurts the Browns. It hurts I think it hurts everybody in the NFL. And then we're sitting here, how many shows are talking? There is no point in predicting a Cleveland Browns win total if you don't know if Deshaun Watson is playing football, if he's playing 16 games, half games, or what. And that's just, I don't know. I wish they would take care of it. Somebody just get it over with. The Bengals are sitting at 9.5. That's the same morning I think Tom and I are both giving. In Baltimore, running quarterback, I know they can win in the regular season. 9.5. We'll see. They've been pretty decent. I just don't know if there's an actual. I guess everyone's going to pick the Bengals as the favorite. But did anybody have the Bengals last year winning it before it started? Is what I'm saying.
No.
I think anything could happen in this
Had
division
them
as
dead
of right
last.
now. Yeah, there's nothing to predict in that one. The Vikings going to be able to give the Packers a run, Terry?
No.
Just still another.
It'll be another Green Bay year.
Well, who are the wide receivers for Green Bay?
They drafted some kid that they said was.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, why is everybody saying that Green Bay is going to be good? They don't have any receivers.
Because
Rodgers is going to make them.
Because who in Chicago and Detroit's out or scoring 30 on them? That's the issue. Rodgers will score 30 or 25. I don't. I feel you, Tom. I think they're getting the playoffs and get smoked again like they do all the time.
Got them what? 12 wins.
11. Yeah.
11.
Sitting at 11. Minnesota at 9. All right, we'll go over to the NFC South. This might get ugly really quick.
5.5 for the
5.5 for the Falcons.
6.
6 for the Panthers. 7.5 for the Saints. 11.5 for the Buccaneers. Skip Bayless predicted them to go 14-3.
And Jarvis Landry is a Saint.
Yes. So Jameis has got some guys with good hands. You got Michael Thomas. You got Jarvis. You got Olave. So they don't have Sean Payton.
I mean, I know I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I give Jameis Winston all the credit in the world. He could have been a quarterback that said, heck with the NFL, I'm not going to be able to make it. He took the $1 million they gave him, gave himself another opportunity. And I think his contract is could be worth like $21 million if everything goes correctly for him.
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, actually. I think it's up there. I know it's between 14 and 21, but I thought I saw 21 with incentives and everything go for him. But congratulations to the young man for staying with it and taking his cut. Now he's getting paid back.
Yeah, but they're still only predicted to win 7
Oh, I'm
Great
not
games.
saying he's going to be a great big
He's going to be
deal.
happy with his $21 million.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'll be a happy man.
Did you guys hear the Sean Payton to Carolina rumors? I'm sure.
Yes, and I was about to pull that up. If Tepper is even commenting on it, Tepper doesn't comment on anything.
He called. The news was he called Rule a couple days before it happened and basically said, "This is coming out. There's no truth to it. Blow it off." Blah blah blah. Which means he did call.
Right, which is a complete lie. Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Which means
usually in sports, don't that mean that's a complete lie?
Yeah.
If he's out making public comments about it, and he doesn't comment on anything,
I don't know if that was public. It was just reported that Tepper called
Panthers
Rule
coach
and
Matt
basically
Rule
said, "This is coming out. Don't pay any attention
I
to
think
it."
there's two places Sean could go, and you could go to Carolina, and if Dallas flops, he'll be in Dallas.
Well, Dallas is obviously where he wants to go. He's wanted to be there the whole time. We'll see.
But why? You got to deal with Jerry Jones.
I think he can be another Jimmy Johnson that can push them over the top.
He's in the family, Tom. He was there with Parcells. So I think he thinks he's one of Jerry's boys. Is what?
See, but that's what everybody thinks till they get there. Then you're going to do what Jerry wants. I mean, that's just the way it is in Dallas.
You just got to have somebody that'll buck back. I don't think Parcells bucked back enough when he come there. He was on the tail end of his coaching, and he just took whatever they gave him and went on. Jimmy Johnson wouldn't do that. Sean Payton, I don't think, would ever do that. This is what I got to have, you know.
Yeah, I know. I just don't understand why anybody like Payton, he's going to want to do things his way, and you're going to go to Jerry Jones, he wants to do things his way. I just don't see that working. I might be wrong, but
well, Jerry's going to die sometime. At some point, he should.
That's nice.
Try to.
When Jerry's dead, the Cowboys will win again.
That's what I'm saying. He should try to win before he dies. So if that's important to him,
he's close to 80, isn't he?
I don't think it's important to him as much as him. As long as they show him on TV, Tom, he don't care. I don't think he cares one bit. This is a Panther spokesman said we would not talk or consider a coach who's under contract with another team. So there's one of the statements on that. This is just a whole report.
He's 79.
He's got my full support. Talking about Matt Rule. This is Tepper talking about them. So Rule said that so this is part of why he got that 7-year deal or whatever it was that Tepper told him when he hired him that he thought it was a 5-year plan. We're 2.5 years into it, and in reality, I know fans want your teams to be good every year. And we kind of talked about this, but you have to be realistic that it takes a few years to have a good team. Terry, there's 53 or 45 people on a roster. If you just think about it, in a draft, if you got 7 rounds and only 3 of them are guaranteed to be starters for the most part, if you hit them, Minnesota, we got teams that miss all the time on these top 3 rounds. If you are lucky enough to get 3 starters a year and there's 45 men on a roster, how many years is that before you're good?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've always
15
said,
years?
Yeah. You got to have 3 to 5.
Right.
That's just what you got to have.
The guys' primes, like I said, Tom, with Chubb, that you got 5-7 years with these guys in each spot. 5-7 years with a group, 5-7 years with a group, 5. You have to move in groups like that. Because if you got to commit to a quarterback, you're going to commit to him 2 or 3 years, and that's going to have to mean 5 for the most part. So I agree with that, and there's some Panthers fans upset about it, and I'm just like, that's being realistic, first of all. Now, and it's been 2.5 years, you still ain't got a quarterback. It's not like people are like giving away awesome quarterbacks. Here, you guys have him. They tried to get Watson, it didn't work out. So right now they're in quarterback limbo, and I think a lot of these young guys, they've gotten the opportunity to play, but at 20, Carson Wentz didn't start playing until he was 24. And we're looking at these guys that, like Sam Darnold's 24 now, and now we're already throwing him under the bus, Terry.
Yeah.
Right? And that's technically 6 more years of playing of Carson Wentz level football. Well, you might even have. What if he throws 27 touchdowns the next 4 years? You just don't know. So I don't. The quarterback situation in the league
Carolina.
Is just awful.
I mean, my God, they was 3-0, y'all. I mean, people keep forgetting that
with Darnold and McCaffrey.
Yeah. So
they started off well. So I do believe that there is smoke in this fire. We'll see where it goes from there. I
I think Baker Mayfield's going to look good in a Panthers uniform.
You think that's where he
Tom,
ends
you
up?
just so for somebody to get him. You don't care whether it's Carolina or Dallas or Cincinnati or who.
Dallas
Just
could
somebody
use him.
take him.
Well, they're
Dallas
saying
could
right
use
now
him.
Seattle is the favorite to sign him if they release him.
Well,
So-
because our GM, he's done a lot of good things, but he's bungled this. I don't care what anybody says. You've bungled this because Mayfield has to be part of the deal, and because he's not, now you got all this other drama and unwanted attention on what's going to happen. He had to be part of the deal. He's not going to play another snap as a Cleveland Brown. I mean, I know all these people are saying, well, if Deshaun Watson has to sit out the year, Baker Mayfield's. No, he's not.
Yeah,
No. This is like
that's already been ruined.
yeah, this is like wife and husband go through a divorce, then he comes back to a birthday party, gets drunk, and they have a fight, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna get remarried. No, you're not. It's not gonna happen. No.
I'll tell you what is. I'll tell you a couple of things when we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The weird things about the NFL is that teams would rather screw you in a money situation than make their team better. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's Jets situation. All right, so the Jets and Panthers trade. Panthers gave up a second rounder, fourth rounder, and a sixth rounder for Sam Darnold. Okay, he was the top what 2 or 3 pick? What wasn't he? I can't remember exactly where he was. Now let's start with Houston. If you're Houston, your quarterback is Davis Mills. You're not winning the Super Bowl next year. Baker has 1 year on the deal. If he doesn't play well, you can cut it. Why would you not kick the tires on Mayfield on that trade? That's the weird thing about that.
Cleveland's going to pay most of the money.
Yeah.
Again,
It should have been part of the original deal.
But again, Terry, though, my point is the Texans have to spend money on something.
Yeah.
They don't have any players. They don't have anybody good on their team. So why not for them? But they would rather screw Cleveland with their money than actually make their team and give them a chance. And team after team after team has done it. Panthers are doing it. You can't tell me it's not worth a 5th round pick that the Panthers will blow on whoever. Let's go who they pick in the 5th round this year is not worth than Baker Mayfield and a chance to have a starting quarterback on your team. He's the number 1 overall pick, and we can't give up a 5th rounder, a 7th round pick, and every NFL team in the league will do that over the. We'd rather screw y'all with that money and not give up a 7th rounder and let someone else have him and beat us with him than us give up a 7th round. These draft picks are worthless. And they hold on to them like they're gold. That's insane. It's insane to me how some of this works. And what you're talking about where they screwed him and like, we know you can't trade him, but
Cleveland,
we just don't want to.
Cleveland screwed themselves. I mean, it's just they screwed themselves on this because you gave up 3 number 1 picks for a guy that you don't even know is going to take a snap.
Yes.
He might not take a snap in 2022. Seriously,
It's
there is a
insane.
real
It's
possibility that he won't take a snap because I heard his deposition did not go well. You know what I mean? It's just once in these civil cases and these guys got to start talking. It's not like a criminal case. You got to explain what you did in a civil case. A lot of people don't know that. If you don't speak in a civil trial, that is an admission of guilt. Like people don't understand that. So you got to talk. That's how, go back to OJ. How'd they get OJ for $33 million? Well, he's got to talk in the civil case. And sometimes and young men make poor choices. I'm not going to, judge somebody the rest of their life. People can make changes to their life. They've done. I don't know what exactly he did. Nobody knows exactly what he did, but you can't take that chance. The deal for Matt Stafford's different because Matt Stafford's your day 1 starter.
All right. They made that deal acting like they know he wasn't going to be suspended. Like if you know he's not going to be, if there's nothing to do with Deshaun Watson, this is just a regular Deshaun Watson trade. Do we even blink an eye?
No.
Maybe at that too much. Not
No.
much.
No,
You'd still complain about how too many ones, but
too many. I wouldn't have given up 3 number 1s for anybody. Not when you could have got a Matt Ryan or you could have got a Carson Wentz to be your stopgap guy and then go draft your guy the next year if you wanted to go in a different direction. It's a rich quarterback draft next year. Wasn't so much this year. I just do not understand why you're going to put an anvil around your neck like this. I just don't get it because you're and next year you're in salary cap, big time salary cap trouble next year.
And then next year we'll be talking about having to cut Nick Chubb. And they wasted his 5-6 years.
They with this trade will sink this franchise back to where it was.
I would be laughing my butt off if the Panthers would have made this trade.
I was hoping and praying to God, because he'd be playing for the most local team. I mean, you can make an argument for the Falcons, because that's another team,
right?
Okay, well, it made more sense to go there, but see, nobody else is going to give up that much for a guy you don't even know who's going to play a snap. Not a snap. I mean, it's just.
And then you pissed the guy that was your starter off,
right?
So
to make sure that he never plays another. Now, a lot of people think, well, you're a Baker Mayfield defender. If he is problem in that locker room, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. He won a playoff game for you, but if it's not working in the locker room, I get it. It's not working between him and the coach and management. I get it.
Let's say that is an issue. But let's say whatever the issue, whatever that means, locker room. What positions do you usually get rid of first?
Wide receiver.
When there's a problem in the locker room.
You don't care.
Yeah. Do you care about the wide receiver's feelings about the quarterback? No. Did anybody ever care about T.O.'s feelings about the quarterback?
No.
He sure let everybody know, but nobody really cared. Jeff Garcia, nobody in San Francisco cared that he didn't like Jeff Garcia. They said go out there and catch the ball. And it's just weird how they did Baker. It's not right. Whether it's Baker, whoever the quarterback was. This is the same thing with the Romo thing. I don't think these teams have handled the way they should have.
This makes me think it might have been between he and the GM. This is not the GM that drafted him.
Right. And I think, Tom, you're 100% right on that. That's the biggest issue in all these sports teams, is that they've got to put their money in where Deshaun Watson is this GM's quarterback now. But it's just weird for the fans, and it sucks for the fans of Cleveland. So again, like I said last week, how do we have a celebration or honor of a playoff victory or whatever in 20 years? Like, we still celebrate Bernie Kosar, but we're going to pretend that Baker Mayfield never happened is what's going to happen.
I just wish.
Is that not weird?
If it wasn't for Colin Cowherd, I think that Baker Mayfield would still be a Cleveland Brown.
There's a good point and argument to it.
I think if it was no Colin Cowherd,
for a lot.
He's one of those guys that likes to, well, I know I can piss this guy off, so let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
And that's how they make money. That's how he makes his money, and I get it. So if you're Baker Mayfield, you sort of just got to turn all that off. I was like, we're not paying attention to these unathletic guys who blab on the radio. It's just we're not going to listen to all that. I'm going to do my thing. But I think he let a lot of those people get under his skin, and that affected his actions, and that affected the locker room, and that's why the Browns are the way they are. So, part of this I do put on Mayfield because of the way he acts sometimes.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that he's
my issue is that when they say when whoever says locker room, do you ever hear an actual football player say, we got a problem with Baker?
No.
Do you ever hear the defensive back be like, you ever heard Denzel Ward? You're like, so glad that dude's gone.
Well, the only thing you got was you got to Odell's daddy, and then Odell, and then I guess Odell's silence on, like, he didn't say, "Daddy, shut up." He just didn't say anything. So that he and his daddy are talking on the phone and saying, like,
right,
this idiot is. Please put this on your Twitter and I won't say anything. It might have been one of those deals. But it seems like sympathy in the locker room was with Odell. I mean, I like when you don't know him personally, you don't know who is the real jerk.
JP, you ready? All right. Well, we got a break. We got to come back and do NBA playoffs. Celtics and Milwaukee go to Game 7 last night. That'll be in a couple of days, but
forced to Game 7.
Yes, forced to Game 7. Game 7 tomorrow. Dallas and Phoenix, and Milwaukee and Boston. Both Game 7s will be tomorrow. No games tonight. And we'll be back in a minute to talk about all that on KTCBroadcasting.com.